Hey everybody, this is Jason Akers with Green Acres Pest Control. Today I'm going to go over how much should you pay for bedbug service. And I'm doing something a little different today. I thought I'd do a live stream. It's 9 o'clock in the morning and I didn't have any work scheduled today. So I thought I'd come on here and maybe answer a few questions and help everybody out. So this is a question that a lot of people ask me because I do bedbug services a lot, and a lot of times I am a lot cheaper. Sometimes I'm more expensive than the competition. And a lot of people will call me out of state and they'll ask me, how much should you spend? How much should I spend to kill bedbugs? Bedbugs are very expensive to get rid of. They've called maybe several exterminators and they've gotten a lot of bids and they realize, wow, this is actually, I may even have to take out a loan, a small loan to pay this. But first, I want to go over one thing about subscribing to the channel. If you guys are new and you're just catching this for the first time, I try to do live streams whenever I have a chance. I don't have a chance very often. I run my own company. I'm very busy, but let me show you here if I could figure out which one of these things I got to do. There we go. So right here is my channel. If you go over to the subscribe button right here, you can search Green Acres Pest Control. You go to subscribe, and then a little bell will come up. Be sure to hit that bell so you can be notified of when I'm live, when I go on do my live streams. So anyway, let's get on to the subject at hand. What do you do? You've got bed bugs. You have called around several exterminators. A lot of the prices are really, really high. How do you combat this, or what do you do? Do you try to do it yourself? Are you going to be able to do it yourself? A lot of the videos and the self-help stuff on the internet, they'll tell you, well, they're impossible to get rid of. You'll have them forever. You go down and read comments. People say, I tried this. It didn't work for me. I've spent thousands of dollars trying to get rid of bed bugs, and it's just not working. So what do you do? Several of the, a lot of the prices you pay, like if you were to hire pest control, a lot of the prices are dependent on what kind of service you're buying. And I'm going to go over, now these have come down a lot since I first started my YouTube channel, but I want to go over the prices of some equipment. Okay, so this is a heater now right here. So this is a little heater. Excuse me. I see a lot of exterminators using these. The problem with this heater is, and I want to go over heat treatment first because this is usually on people's mind. This is like what everybody seems to be doing. This is over $1,000, like $1,100 for this one heater. And the way it works is it plugs in and it heats a room. All right, so you don't just have to use one of these. You typically have to use 4 or 5 of these, sometimes 6 or 7. It just depends on the size of the house in order to get it to heat to the capacity that you need to kill bed bugs. I'm not going to go into whether heat treatment works or not. I've got videos on my on my YouTube channel. If you guys want to go check those out, like number 1, if you search like bed bug heat treatments, I'm right up there in like the top 3 videos on YouTube. So, and I go into more depth on why heat treatments aren't something you want to look for. But this is mainly just going to be a stream on why you pay the things you pay for bed bug treatments. So this specific heater here is $1,200 or $1,100. After you pay your shipping and your taxes and all that, it's probably going to be up over $1,300. So if you're the exterminator and you're pricing this job and you're going in, you're saying, well, I'm going to have to use 5 of these. Let's say it's a modestly small home, or maybe 5-bedroom, maybe 5-room house. So you got your living room and your kitchen, your bedroom, maybe 2 bedrooms and a bathroom or something like that, and you could heat all those rooms using fans, pushing the heat through the house. You have to pay a lot of money for that type of equipment. That's a lot of investment that the company has to pay. And so the company is, of course, going to charge you a lot more to do a heat treatment. And sometimes they try to get away with just doing 1 room or 2 rooms. Let's just do your bedrooms. Let's just heat the bedrooms. Why is that a bad idea? Because no matter how much you heat a room, Well, they'll tell you, well, heat works because what we do is we slowly let the heat build so the bed bugs don't know they're getting hot. And it's then we just turn it up really quick and kill them all right away. That's not how heat works. Heat is a transference of energy. It's physics. So the way that it works is the heat slowly builds. No matter how hot you get the machine, it still has to heat up the whole entire room. And all the molecules in the room have to heat up. So you've got this slow, no matter how they tell you, it doesn't happen fast. It happens very slowly. And if the bed bugs have nowhere to go to get away from the heat, they die. That's the way it works. They use fans to force the heat under the beds. They use fans to force it around corners and stuff in the rooms. They have to set up your furniture in a specific way in order to let that air kind of flow all around the devices, your furniture and things. They might even flip couches up on their side or upside down so that the heat will penetrate and get all around all these things. Because if they don't, the foam inside your furniture will not allow the heat to penetrate into that furniture. It acts like an insulation. So you don't want this is why heat is so complicated. It's a very complicated type of a system to do and to do it effectively. It's why there's such a high chance of failure for heat treatments. I'm not saying heat treatments don't work. I'm saying the problem is people don't know what they're doing and they're not doing it effectively, and some homes just are not candidates for heat treatments. If you have an older home, maybe built in the 60s or the 70s, and you've got a lot of holes, a lot of cracks, a lot of places for the bed bugs to retreat into the wall where the insulation is, it's just not going to work. It's not viable. Now, the reason that people are charging this kind of money, like $4,500. I had a quote that I heard from Woodbridge, Virginia, for $12,000 for one treatment. And the reason they're charging this is because this is not cheap. This is really expensive. And if it's a 5-bedroom house, which is this specific house was a 5-bedroom townhome, you've got to get at least 5 of these. Plus, you have to worry about heating the rest of the house in order to keep the bed bugs from transferring from like the bedroom to the hallway and different places like that. It's very, very, very expensive. So understand that's why heat treatment is so expensive. So what should you pay? This is the whole point of this show, is what should you pay for bed bug service? And like I was saying, don't hesitate to ask questions. If you guys in here, I see there's a few people watching the stream right now. If there's any questions at all, I don't mind breaking away from what I'm saying to answer any questions that you might have. So let's go on to different type of treatment. Now, what sparked this video this morning was a post on, and let me show you. I had a tweet, or, okay, thank you. That's my wife. Okay, so I had a tweet, or not a tweet, but a comment on one of my videos. Now, I've taken their name off because I don't want to, I don't know what they call it. I'm not showing you what their name is. You can go and find this tweet probably anyway, or message. All right, so I put out a video, Walmart bed bug. It's about how to control bed bugs based on chemicals you buy from Walmart. And so I've got this. I said, the guy says, I spotted diatomaceous earth. You decided to overlook that. If you watch that video, I actually pick up a canister of DE and I read the label and I explain why it doesn't work. And he's getting angry with me because DE is something I get attacked with all the time. People attack me because it's like a $5 cure. I mean, a lot of these videos on YouTube, you can go and you can find them, and they'll say, oh, you can cure your bed bug problem forever for $5 or $10 or whatever, because a bag of diatomaceous earth costs about $5 to $10. And they'll say, oh, you just need to use food grade. Don't use any other kind of. Sorry, I had a solicitor calling me. So they'll say, oh, you're just using pool grade. That's why you're trying to tell people not to use diatomaceous earth, and it's really great, and you're going to save people money if they just use it. The problem is, and this is what I responded, the problem is people are too cheap for their own good. Even $5 to $10 to eliminate bed bugs, something that should cost much more. And I'm going to explain why it should cost more. I don't understand how people can expect a very difficult thing, like a bed bug elimination, should cost nothing. but you wouldn't take a car to a mechanic who only charged $10 to rebuild an engine. Bed bugs can be easy to eliminate if you're willing to do the work, but they aren't cheap by any means. And by cheap, I'm talking, less than $200. It's going to cost you more than $200 to eliminate bed bugs, whether you do it yourself or whether you hire someone else. Now, if you're watching this video because you have had bed bug problems in the past and you know how much it costs to get rid of bed bugs, or maybe you're dealing with bed bugs now and you've called exterminators and you're getting all these quotes and people are like $3,500, $4,500, even $1,000. Some of the exterminators are maybe $1,200. Maybe they're not that expensive. Maybe they're still on the high end of what you can afford with your budget. A lot of people who get bed bugs can't afford an exterminator. The reason they can't afford an exterminator is because maybe they picked up a bed on the side of the road. Maybe they picked up a dresser on the side of the road because they can't afford furniture, and they brought them into the home and the bed bugs were in the furniture. It's not that they did anything wrong. They just didn't understand that that's how they, got the bed bugs. So maybe they can't afford an exterminator. This is what my channel's about. This is what I try to help people do. I try to help people eliminate bed bugs on their own. People who can't afford to hire me. YouTube's worldwide. People can watch my videos in all over the world. I've had people call me from Australia. I've had people call me from Spain. I've had people call me from Canada. All over the world, people call and ask me questions on how to get rid of bed bugs. This is what my channel's about. I'm trying to help you guys understand how to do this correctly. Now, if $200 sounds like a lot of money to you, you may have to just budget for a little while and try to save up some money, because this is what's going to work for you. If you're going to spend $10, $15 on diatomaceous earth thinking it's going to work, do you really have $10 or $15 to flush down the toilet? Would you take a $10 bill out of your purse or your wallet right now and flush it down the toilet? Because that's what you're doing when you're trying to use DE. It's cheap, but $10 down the toilet. I mean, really, do you really want to just waste $10? If you don't have the money to hire a professional, don't waste your money on these scams, because they aren't any good. They're not good for you. So anyway, I'm going to go over what does work. I'm going to go over how much you should spend, how much you could spend in order to do this yourself. That's why I'm doing a live stream, because this is a little bit longer than what I would typically do on a video. Most of my videos are anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes long. I try not to go over 20 minutes. This live stream may not go over 20 minutes. I'm going to try to do it as quickly as possible, because this is going to be saved on my channel for people to watch later. Okay, so let's go ahead and hide this comment and show you my display again. So this is DE. And see, it's cheap. There's a whole bag, 10 pounds, for $20. Food grade. All right, what does food grade mean? Food grade is just a way to say it's less toxic. It doesn't mean it isn't toxic. It means it's less toxic. It's still not something you want to breathe into your lungs. The reason that DE is not safe to use is because it causes respiratory problems. When you're putting it around your mattress or your box spring, you are essentially putting a toxic inhalant, right in your mattress, and flop down on your bed and don't see the dust fly everywhere. And you're going to be breathing in this DE is what you're breathing in. You do not want to breathe it in. Now, you can use DE as a tool to help eliminate bed bugs. What I do, and this is what I recommend people do, if you're insistent on using this stuff, put it in a duster. Dust it inside your box spring. Put it maybe behind your baseboard. Like if your baseboard has a crack away from the wall, dust it behind the baseboard. That's fine. Now, you're not going to use a spoon. You're not going to use a paintbrush to do this. You use a duster, which I've got listed on my Amazon. Let me show you my Amazon. Now, I did this because people ask me. I'm not trying to make any money. Shop. This is my Amazon store. As that's me. And my kids. All right, so if you scroll down, I've got Bedbug Control Canada. I've got Spider Control, Bedbug Supplies. So if you go to Bedbug Supplies, I'm going to explain some things to you now. That's a book I wrote. There's a dust. Now, this is if you're going to actually use DE, which I don't even have it listed here because I don't recommend it at all. I don't recommend it for getting rid of bed bugs. It's not going to work. All right. So I've got a little duster. This is a bulb duster. They're pretty handy, and this is the one that I typically use. This is what I like to use. This duster, what you do is that spout right there, you want to hold it upside down. You fill your duster about half full and you hold it upside down so that you can shake it and you create this misty cloud inside the duster. And then you stick that tip right there, that little tip. You take that tip and you put it in behind the crack of the baseboard and you puff it in the baseboard. And that's what's going to kill the bed bugs that live behind the baseboards. You can also take the outlet covers off and you can puff it around your outlets. Be careful because there's electrical connectors down there. You don't want to electrocute yourself. But you can puff it around your plugs in the wall. And you can make a little hole in your box spring felt if you don't want to take the felt off. And you can puff it inside your box spring. That's all that I ever recommend to use DE. I don't actually use diatomaceous earth very rarely. It is an ingredient in a couple of the dusts I use, but it's not something that I use on a regular basis. And this, of course, this is like a UV light. If you're concerned, if you're going to hotels or something, you can take a UV light with you and you can spot where bed bugs are because they fluoresce. They do fluoresce, so you can find them. This is Crossfire. Let me go over this chemical right here. This is a really good chemical. This is what this is what I use to kill bed bugs. I'm sorry, I've got a little bit of a sore throat this morning. All right. It's $43. Now this is going into what I was saying earlier about how much you're going to spend to get rid of bed bugs. This chemical is $43.13. This is a 13-ounce bottle. The label states that you mix 13 ounces to a gallon and you have 24 hours to use it, or then you have to discard it. So what I tell people to do if they're going to try extermination themselves, get a sprayer and mix half a gallon. So you're going to use 6.5 ounces to a half gallon. That way you can save your bottle and you don't have to use it all. It will spread the chemical out. It will save you money doing it that way. This way, if for some reason you, and this is what I do the same thing. I do the same thing. I only mix what I'm going to use for the job because you know that you can't hold it over. So you use what you're going to use. And I know because I've been doing this for my whole life, and I know how much I'm going to use to do a bed bug job. I've been doing bed bugs for 20 years. So I mix how much I need for the house. I know exactly how much I need. You're not going to broadcast this over the floor. People say, well, can I treat my carpets with it? No. You treat the cracks where the carpet meets the baseboard. Those are the areas you're going to treat with your sprayer. You're going to treat your box springs around the felt of the box spring where it staples onto the bottom of the box spring. You're going to treat your mattress, especially the seams of your mattress where the bed bugs live. They're going to live in the seams of your box spring, where the corners kind of pleat together. And I've got videos on this too, where the corners pleat together. You want to treat those areas because those are the areas the bed bugs live. And so if you treat the areas the bed bugs live, you're not going to have bed bugs. They can't live there. They're going to die. Also, the reason I like Crossfire is because it's a very good chemical because it's non-repellent. It's a non-repellent bed bug spray. So what is a non-repellent? A non-repellent is a chemical that the bed bugs don't know is there. They can't see it. It's like if I put DE powder everywhere, the bed bugs can see that. They know that's there. They don't want to crawl through it because they know it'll hurt them if they do. Crossfire is something they cannot see. They can't sense it. They don't know it's there. It's non-repellent, meaning it does not repel bed bugs. They don't see it as a poison that they might crawl through and die. So when you treat the mattress and then you sleep on the mattress, the bed bugs, when they try to get to you, because you're the food source, they crawl across the surface that's been treated and they die. So that's why Crossfire works so well. It's why it's the number one thing I go to every day. Hey, Bill. So that's why I recommend it. It has, like I said, you can do this. You can go on my Amazon store. I do make a commission off of everything. I think it's like 6% or something. I can't remember. But the reason I made this store is so people can actually see the products that I use because I don't want to pay the taxes. Honestly, I don't want to have to deal with selling a product out of my home, having to store it, and I just use Amazon, let Amazon do it. They can make the money. It's not that important to me. I just want to help you guys be able to get what you need. I used Amazon to start my business. When I started my business, I was ordering things on Amazon because it was one of those systems that I could get the stuff shipped to me tomorrow. You know, if someone called, I didn't have very many customers. The whole first year I was in business, I maybe only had 10, 20 customers. So I didn't have a lot of work to do. I didn't want to use up all my product. I mean, I didn't want to buy too much product and run out. So this is what I used, and I trust Amazon because, like I said, they helped me get my business started. Now I order through suppliers and stuff, and I've got guys that I deal, like sales reps and stuff that I deal with because I'm doing a lot more business now, and you can save money through a sales rep, but you have to have a license to do something like that. Um, so anyway, like I said, these are the bed bug supplies. This is the stuff that I recommend. Alpine. Some people will ask me about this chemical. This pesticide right here. Now this is expensive. Now look at that. Now that's actually come down a lot because that was $180 last year. But um, this is not as long lasting. So when it comes to pesticides with bed bug control, this is not going to last you as long as like a crossfire treatment. Crossfire can last 30 days is what the label says, but I've had actual my own personal instances. I've had it last way longer than 30 days, so I prefer to use Crossfire. But what I will typically do is this is also a non-repellent, so the bed bugs don't recognize it either, and so you can use this on the baseboards throughout the house. You can't treat the mattress with it. You can treat the box spring. You can treat the bed frame, headboard, footboard, and like I said, if you're watching this after it's been recorded a year or two, be sure to read your labels because labels do change. Don't just go on this because I'm telling you this right now. Labels change based on studies. So always read your label. Always go by the label. Label's a law. All right. The label's there to protect you. It is a chemical. It's a toxic substance you're using to kill something. You don't want to harm yourself. Always read your label. But anyway, Alpine is a really good chemical for other bugs too. So if you're having a problem with, say, cockroaches or fleas or ants, it's really good for those types of bugs. So, and it also kills bed bugs. It's also really good on bed bugs. So you can use this for bed bugs, which is why when you go to my store, if you go here, I've got it listed like several times, like bed bug supplies. I've got like the respirator in bed bugs. I've got the respirator in cockroach control. I've got the respirator in ant control. And this is because I tell people to use dusts and stuff, and I want to make sure that you're properly protected based on your label. I've got a B&G. Like this is a B&G right here. This is what I use. This is the professional equipment that I use. Now, what should you pay? How much should you pay to do it yourself? All right. If you've got the money, I would invest in a B&G. This is an amazing tool for pest control. They last forever. My father started his company in 1985. He still has his original B&G from when he started his company in 1985. It's 2000, what is it now? 2019. So 2019, just you do the math. That's a long time. He's only had to replace the pump, the wands, maybe the hoses and stuff, but the tank is still good. It's still a really good piece of equipment. That's why I recommend B&G because they're wonderful, wonderful equipment. And that's what I use to do all of my pest control. Have you ever had any scary close encounters? Like has a poisonous spider fallen on you or anything? Yes, actually, MC. I'm just gonna call you MC. I had a brown recluse under a house. Now, people will like to say, I got brown recluses all over my house because they have brown spiders. Brown spiders do not equal brown recluse. So, but I did find one under a house one time that was coming to bite me and I killed. I had a snake fall on me under a house. I had a guy try to kill me one time. I've had, and I should go into that story one day. I'll tell you guys a story about the guy that tried to kill me. But yeah, I've had some, I mean, this is 31, 32 years almost that I've been doing pest control. And so I've had a lot of things happen to me. I almost walked in on a dead guy one time. As far as like close encounters, most of my close encounters have been with other people. Typically in pest control, you're dealing with a lot of, especially if you're dealing with something like shady people where you're going into like maybe a rent by the week hotel or something like that. You could run into some addicts, drug addicts, alcoholics, and they're being influenced by substance. So they wouldn't be that way normally, except they're being influenced. And so a lot of times they will kind of do some crazy stuff. I've yeah, I've been, hit, T-boned, stuff like that on the road because of just you put that many miles on your vehicle every day, you're bound to get into a wreck every now and then. That's happened to me. So as far as close encounters with actual bugs or like I had a rattlesnake one time I had to get out of a chimney for a lady. That's probably the closest, most dangerous encounter I've ever had was with a rattlesnake. So, bedbug inspection next week in my building. Should I be concerned about hitchhikers coming in on them? Yes, you should. All right. So when I do bedbug inspections, a lot of times my kids will go with me. I'm teaching my children how to do my job. I was 12 when I started working with my father full time. I was 6 when I did my very first job. And so I like to take my kids. They would be third generation if they decide to take this further than I am. My daughter is 6 years old. My son is 14. I am always concerned whenever I go to do a bedbug inspection that my kids, all right, so a 6-year-old, let me see if I can find something as a prop. All right, let's pretend this is bed. This is a book. Let's pretend this is a bed. My 6-year-old's like this. All right, she rubs up against stuff. She's like all over stuff because she's 6. I'm always concerned she's going to pick up an egg. The eggs are what you're going to bring with you. If you sit a bag, like let's say you're going in for an inspection and you're carrying like a duffel, you've got maybe flashlights, maybe dusters, maybe several things in your bag that you use to do a proper inspection. Maybe you've got knives and stuff in there to cut the felts off the bottom of the mattress or whatever, or the box spring. There's always a chance you could bring an egg on a bag. Because when you sit it down, especially if you sit it down next to a bed, a lot of the eggs will be laid there. They'll fall off the bed there. They'll be on the mattress. Don't touch the mattress. Use gloves, even if it's just an inspection and you're not going to actually do a treatment, you're just inspecting, wear gloves. Always wear gloves. Wear the neoprene gloves. And that way you're going to throw them away in their trash before you leave the house. So you pick up the mattress. You hold it with your hands out, away from your body. Don't let it touch your body. Don't let it touch your pants. Don't push the mattress back together like when you put the bed back together. Don't shove it with your pant leg. There are things that you can do to keep from transferring bed bugs and eggs to your body. Always hold the furniture way out away from you. And, those are the things you need to do to try to keep yourself safe from a bed bug infestation and not taking them home. I've never taken them home. I've come close. I've come really close. I had an egg on my pants because I broke one of my own rules. I was in a really, really bad house. And I knelt down beside the bed because for some reason, I can't even remember why I did it because normally I never do that. But I knelt down beside the bed. I put my knee on the carpet and I picked up an egg on the carpet of her room. And I drove all the way home. And when I was getting out of my vehicle, I looked down at my knee, and there was the egg right on my knee. And those things are little. They're really teeny tiny, like little microscopic Tic Tacs. But it was right there on my pant leg. And I just went in. I took it and brushed it off out in the yard. And then I took my pants, and I went straight down and did my laundry right then and there. So it is very possible to bring them home with you. Very, very possible. So just be really careful. And if it's a really bad infested house and you're worried that you may have, go straight into your laundry. Throw your stuff in the washer, high heat water, high heat dryer. Don't be, risking. It's you don't want bed bugs biting on you. Have you been bit by a bed bug before? Do they bite only to feed? Yes, they bite only to feed. I've never been bit. I was considering doing it because if I get a bed bug dog, you're supposed to use bed bugs. The guy that trains them actually has his own bed bugs, so I may not have to do it. But I've considered getting bed bugs and letting people watch them bite me on cam. I haven't done that yet. I haven't been brave enough to do that yet. And my wife doesn't want to risk getting a bed bug loose in the house. Although I have brought bed bugs home, and I have filmed. I've made a lot of films with my GoPro. This right here. I've made some films with that. I just haven't had the time to edit the film yet. But I've got some showing how to identify bed bugs. And I've got some pictures of like carpet beetles and stuff like that because people will misidentify carpet beetles for bed bugs. So um, I bag my clothes and shoes up at the door and I wash them right away. Yep, that's right. That's what you do. And you can heat some things. All right, so they make these heat chambers. It's basically like a little room that you can put your personal belongings in, like your luggage bags, shoes, just weird things that you can't really treat. Uh, and it will heat them up and kill the bed bugs in them. So people that I've actually found this when you go to a house and you're flipping up box springs and stuff. I used to actually keep my shoes under the bed. So under the foot of the bed, I would have my shoes lined up there. And so it's not uncommon to go to somebody's house and flip up the box spring and find someone has their shoes laid out. And the bed bugs will go into the shoelaces and they'll lay eggs around the shoelaces and they'll live inside the tongue of the shoe in different places. And so people will ask me, how do I get the bed bugs out of my shoes? You can wash your shoes. You can, by hand. Yeah, old school, with a rag. You wash them by hand. But some shoes, like my Converse, I wash my Converse in the washing machine. But they're canvas. They're not like, some kind of a rubbery, like nylon or something like that. It's canvas material. So I just throw it in the washing machine and I'll wash them. If you can't do that with your shoes, you can do a heat treatment on your shoes. You can, they make, like I said, they make those machines, and I've actually noticed exterminators have started to offer that as a service to be able to go and pay a nominal fee, not very expensive at all, to take all your stuff and kind of put it in this room that they can heat up and kill the bed bugs in your shoes. And then all you'd have to do is just clean the poop and the bed bug eggs and stuff like that, whatever's left over, all the dead carcasses off your shoes, and then you got brand new clean shoes. So, oh man, this chair is not the most comfortable chair to sit in. All right, so I hope that I have explained this whole point of like how much should you pay for bed bug service. If there's any questions about this, to tell you the truth, I wish I could refuse the inspection for the reason I just explained, because you're worried about them coming home with you. I mean, I've been doing this so long, I'm just used to it. And all right, so if I get bed, let's say I go, worst case scenario, I go to a house, I bring eggs home, I bring bed bugs home, I've infested my house, I can kill them. So even if I do bring them home, I can kill them. So I'm not worried if I do bring them home. It should be in the back of your mind. You think about it when you're doing the inspection, but don't worry about it because you can kill them. It's one thing if you were like a first responder, like an EMT or someone like that, going out and picking somebody up out of their bed. That would be something you could worry about because you may not have the ability to get rid of the bed bugs yourself at home. But if you're a pest control technician, you should be able to get rid of bed bugs in your own house because it's not that difficult. It's just, you just do the work. And this is what I want to explain about payment for service. The labor to get rid of bed bugs it's a lot of labor. If you're not doing a heat treatment, and I understand this is going to get people riled up, all right? If you're not doing a heat treatment, I know that the heat treatment, yes, it's a lot of work, lugging those big machines in and hooking them all up and everything. But the amount of labor that you have if you're doing like a crossfire treatment where you're flipping the mattresses upside down and you're flipping the furniture upside down and you're moving the couches and you're doing all this really heavy lifting, it's a lot of work. You have got to be willing to put in the back labor to do this kind of service. And this is one of the things that you need to understand that's going to translate into the price you pay. Say you go and you hire some exterminator to come out to your house. The exterminator comes out to your house. He says, oh, yeah, I can get rid of these bed bugs, $300. That's the cheapest price you've heard. In fact, it's like a quarter of what you've heard anyone else quote. Do you really think it's going to work? Yeah, I can fix your car. $300, I'll rebuild the whole motor. Do you really trust the mechanic that tells you they can rebuild your motor for $300? Or do you trust the mechanic that says, no, it's going to cost me $600-$700 to do this? The thing is, everybody else is saying $600 to $700, but you got one guy that's saying $300. Is that guy telling you the truth? Do you think he's really going to be able to get rid of your problem? Do you think, why is everyone else charging, $1,200, $1,300, $1,400? Why is everyone else charging that if they could get rid of them at a cheaper price? It's like the prices in a competitive market, the market picks the prices. And so if people are charging $1,200, it's probably because it costs $1,200 to get rid of the problem. And because they have to worry about the time. If I go to a bed bug job and I'm doing a crossfire treatment, it takes me anywhere from 1 to 2 hours, depending on the size of the house, to do the job. That's one service. You typically do have to do follow-up with crossfire once a month. And so you figure if you're doing 2 treatments or 3 treatments, that's 6 hours of labor. That's a lot of work. And not only that, but it's hard labor because what if you got to wrestle with a king-size bed? I got a video of me doing it, wrestling with the king-size bed. It's a pain, and you always run the risk, like what Bill said. It's just like you always run the risk of bringing these things home, and then you're going to have to do all that labor in your own house and not make any money for it. So that's why the price of a bed bug treatment is the price that it is. But if you're willing to do the labor, you can get rid of them. Like I said, $300-400, you could probably get rid of them yourself. If the guy's quoting you $300 to get rid of them, you could probably do the exact same thing and do a better job. But I've got videos of me doing this stuff. I teach people how to do this stuff. It's not hard if you're willing to put in the back labor to do it. Do you offer guarantees on your bed bug treatments? I'm up here in Canada. We offer a guarantee, but here a lot of pest professionals don't anymore due to high chance of reintroducing them. Yeah, so the way that a bed bug guarantee works, and this is the way if I were to offer a guarantee for my service, and I've gone over this with my wife because it is something that people want to have, especially landlords, property managers, hotel managers, people like that. They like to be able to know that what they're buying is going to last, that you're going to back your product. Okay. There is a very high chance of reintroduction with bed bugs. People are creatures of habit. How did they get the bed bugs in the first place? They did something they weren't supposed to do. Whether they knew what it was or not, they did something they weren't supposed to do. So the bed bugs are in their house. All right. Maybe they went to a cheap hotel and picked them up there. Maybe they went to a 5-star hotel and picked them up there. Doesn't matter. They picked up the bed bugs wherever they went. Maybe it's family. Maybe they've got cousins. Maybe they got aunts, uncles, grandparents that have bed bugs. They're not going to say no to their family. Most people will continue to go to their family's homes and reintroduce bed bugs tomorrow, the next day, maybe 3-4 weeks, maybe 3 or 4 months. I just did a bed bug job for a lady, finished up her service, and I told her, I said, the bed bugs keep coming in her house from somewhere, and I know they're being reintroduced from somewhere. I said, so why don't we go? I said, I'll go to your mom's house. I'll go to, where are you going that you might be able to pick these things up? And I went out and checked her mom's house for free. I didn't even charge her. I checked her house for bed bugs. This is some of the things that you can do to try to ensure that the bed bugs are eliminated, that you can offer a guarantee. Because if you're going around and you're treating everybody else's house too, you could usually offer a better guarantee than just going at it blind. If I offered a guarantee, it would be more like a warranty service. So you go out, like with termite warranties, you go out and you do the bed bug service. You charge a fee to warranty the service for the year. If they get bed bugs in that year's service, they've already paid to do it. You just go out and treat it for free. And so that way they have some kind of an insurance that they can fall back on, knowing, oh yeah, we're not going to have bed bugs because the bug man's going to come out here and he's going to kill my bed bugs. That's something you can do. I've noticed a lot of times people that think they have bed bugs don't. It may be fleas. It may be mosquitoes. In my 20 years of killing bed bugs, one house, just one, I could not find the bed bugs. Just one home. And I've done hundreds of bed bug jobs. That house had a big, huge bush growing outside. I mean, I guess you could call it a tree. It was so large. It was all the way up to the roof line. And it was really dense foliage. And there were mosquitoes on the bush. And I told the guy, I think the mosquitoes were coming in his bedroom window because this was growing right outside the bedroom window. And he's like, well, I still think it's bed bugs. I'm getting bit 11, 12, 13 times a night. Please come in, just treat it for bed bugs. So I went in and did a bed bug job, even though I was pretty sure it was mosquitoes. Exactly a year later to the day, almost a week, like right there, he had called me with bed bugs again. Sure, he's got bed bugs again. 11, 12 bites on him. I went out there. The tree had been cut to the ground, so it didn't exist anymore. But the mosquitoes were still roosting all under the eave of the house in the exact same spot. So I treated for the mosquitoes. I told him, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a mosquito treatment for you. I'm going to treat all around your house, your eaves and overhangs and everything, and we'll see what happens. If you continue to get bit, I'll come out here. I'll do a bed bug treatment for you. But I don't think it's bed bugs. I think it's mosquitoes. I killed his mosquitoes, and he hasn't had any more bed bugs since. So there are times that people are getting bit by things that aren't bed bugs. Make sure you properly identify that it really is a bed bug. If they have a picture, maybe you can't find the bed bugs. Maybe they'll send you a picture. Maybe they'll say, this is what I've got in my house. This is what's breaking me out. Is this a bed bug? People send me pictures all the time. I get pictures on Facebook. I get pictures in my text messages. I get pictures on Twitter. Twitter's the best, actually. They keep the quality the best. I like getting pictures on Twitter, which is why I have it listed up at the top there. Tweet your pics at Green Acres PC, because that helps me, and I can identify stuff. I like doing stuff like that. So, but yeah, as far as guarantees, people aren't offering them because of the high introductory rate, because people are creatures of habit, and they don't change their habits. It doesn't matter if you tell them, this is why you're paying me all this money to get rid of your bed bugs. They're like, well, it's my sister, or, well, it's my dad, or, oh, it's my best friend. They don't want to deal with not having that friendship. Quite often it can be as simple as them changing laundry detergent. Yeah, exactly. They could be great breaking out in a rash because of laundry detergent. So, but I hope that I hope I've explained this as well as I can. Like I said, that one message that I did have, let's see here, if I go to, I don't want people to think that I'm trying to lie to them and force them to buy something they don't need. I do self-help on YouTube all the time. I teach people how to get rid of bed bugs all the time. I have no problem telling you the truth on what I use. I just showed you the chemicals, that I use to kill bed bugs. That's what I buy. You can buy every chemical that I can buy, as long as it's not restricted use. If it's a restricted use, then I have to have a license. You have to have a license to buy it. Most of the chemicals I use are not restricted use, and anyone can buy them. So all you need is the proper instruction to be able to get rid of the problem. If you were taught how to do it, you can do it. Can you beat a man at his trade? Probably not. If I've been doing this since I was a child, I can practically kill bed bugs in my sleep. The problem is that people are trying to do this. They don't have the training. You do need some form of training, some knowledge of how bed bugs work to be able to get rid of bed bugs. So that's why I'm hoping I can help people the best I can with the training I offer on my channel. I'm not standing there with you, helping you, holding your hand, say spray here, spray there, spray there. I'm just kind of showing you what I do, and hopefully it can help. So, but you guys have a really great day. Really appreciate it. And I'm going to go drink some tea or something, because, man, my throat it's getting to me. Y'all have a great day. Appreciate it.